Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is the beginning of a new series that I'm rolling out. This is based on a poll that I did about a month ago. I put it out there and I never really announced the results, so this is my opportunity to do so. I asked the audience if they would be interested in me starting a new series featuring the players and the cards of the 1967 Topps High series. I know this is a series that does not include the entirety of the set, and that's kind of intentionally because this set is notorious for probably being the second most difficult Topps set to be able to complete of the vintage era, obviously with the 52 Topps being the #1 most difficult. But this one will probably be right up there, #2, and maybe followed by 66 as maybe the most difficult sets to be able to complete. This is definitely the most difficult set from the 60s or 70s to be able to do. And it features a lot of well-known Hall of Famers, which is kind of interesting about this too, is for some of these players that are featured in these cards here, this is their most expensive card. And it may not be their rookie card, and they may be a star even too during this era, but because they are featured in these high series, which are notorious for having short prints and also super short prints, it can be very difficult to be able to complete the set. And anyone who's has been able to complete it knows what this journey is like. It's definitely a matter of being very patient and being ready to be able to pounce on a card when it becomes available at a price you think is okay, even though it might still be more than like you ever envisioned paying for a common. So I wanted to just show you the high series one more time in its entirety, and then I'll be starting a series probably next month, starting with Hank Bauer, which is card number 534, which is the beginning of the high series. The high series is actually first introduced at the very end of the 6th series with this checklist with Brooks Robinson on it. So I might start kind of reviewing that one too and just talk about maybe the checklists from the 67 set. But let's kind of dive into it. I have a set, all my graded cards but one from 67 are actually from the high series. So when you'll see a gap here in the binder, or it looks like a card is missing, it's going to be one of these graded cards, and I'll pull those out. So just kind of looking over one last time here, my cards are probably, some of them are really good shape, whereas others could be a little bit better, but paying a high price for some of the cards that are probably expert mint or more can be quite pricey. Centering is probably the biggest issue that you'll find with these cards, whether it's top to bottom, right to left, or left to right. That tends to be the biggest issue. Some of them have maybe a little bit of staining too, but here we go. So it starts with Bauer. Clendenin's one of those super short print, as well as Joe Niekro's rookie. Moving down here, Norm Cash is another more expensive card here that's featured here. Rick Monday's rookie card is here as well. Cards that tend to kind of have a little bit more value in here that you would be kind of surprised to see would be cards of the Red Sox and also of the Cardinals. Teams that featured in the Red Sox and the Cardinals, teams that featured in the World Series that year. And in fact, probably one of the more expensive team cards, period, of this era is going to be featured in this set, which is the Red Sox team card when we get to it. All right, so I kind of go through here real quick. I'm not going to do a very intensive video. Here we got Veda Penson, which is not one of the super short print ones, but it's still pretty expensive just as a short print. And they're kind of intermittent throughout. So some of the ones that are easier to find can be all over the place and had everything to do with the printing sheet. And the way the printing sheet was done, there's even, of the short prints, there's a super short print for some of these. And that's including like the Tom Seaver rookie, which there are less of those than there are of the Rod Carew rookie, which is one of the reasons that one goes for a higher price, in addition to probably Seaver being a more coveted player during that era. All right, so here's our first one where we have a gap. Here I have probably my highest graded one, even though it's got a qualifier of OC. We've got Ted Savage from the Cubs. I was really impressed when I got this card at the price I did, because it being a high series, but also its condition. I don't think I had a vintage card in this kind of condition at that point in my collection, where it looked like it came right out of a pack, which this one does. It's beautiful. Card number 552 there. We got Jim Bunning, probably on the list at some point to replace, because it's got a little stain up here in the corner. Other than that, it's like good centering everything on the card. Because of that stain, it probably would not grade out very high. This is actually a sneaky expensive card, this Mark Bellinger rookie. I think partially because he was on the championship team from 66, which have cards here in 67. That's probably the big reason, more so than anything else. And we got a couple other players here. We got Sandy Alomar on there, which is interesting. On to our next page, and where we have our next gap here is card number 569, which is going to be the Rod Carew rookie. I picked this one up, and it's got really good centering on here, which I really appreciate of these 67 cards, especially these rookie cards, which can be all over the place with centering. This one's got pretty good centering. The corners obviously could be better, but then you're talking a lot more money to be able to kind of go up in price to be able to acquire a better condition Carew. All right. Other card of note, this is actually Maury Will's very first Topps card, which kind of comes at a little bit more of a premium because of it. Here he is pictured with the Pirates. All right, we got another gap here. This will be card number 576. Another one of these rookie cards. These players are not really of note, but this is not a cheap card because it's a super short print within the set. A little story about this one. I actually won one from Greg Morris at the same time I won this one in auction, which was a separate auction. So I had two of them for a little while, and I kept the one that was graded because I thought centering was a little bit better at that one. Here we got back-to-back openings here, which are going to be back-to-back cards. Card number 580, Rocky Colavito. A high-quality Rocky Colavito from the 67 High Series is probably going to go more than his rookie in 57 Topps. Or pretty darn close. We got Rocky Colavito, who passed away recently. Love that card and that image of him. And he's right next to none other than Tom Seaver's rookie card, which this one has pretty good centering. Kind of the same issue with the Rod Carew, it's just the corners, but the centering is fantastic on this card, so it presents pretty well. A lot of these don't see the light of day in my collection very often. Hoping that will change as my card room kind of takes shape here. We got Jimmy Pearsall, it's the very last card for him. Here on the next page, we have our next gap here. It'll be card 587. Another one of those rookie stars. This one was not easy to find either. I pounced on it when I found a graded one, which was going to be the same price as some real beaters at the time I picked it up. This one's obviously like a 3, so it's not perfect, but it looked a lot better than the ones that I was looking at that time. All right. Here we go. Next page here. Our next little gap here is going to be card number 600, which is none other than Brooks Robinson. This would be his most expensive card if it wasn't for his rookie also being in a short printed series in 57. This one has the same image that his 69 card does, so don't be fooled when you're trying to purchase this card and mistakenly get the 69, which is going to be far less expensive and not the card you're looking for. If you just want the image, go for the 69. I was really pleased when I picked out this card up, but that's at the time I got it. We got little Juan Pizarro, who pitched a lot for the White Sox during his career. Good old Walt Williams, who played with them for some time. Cookie Rojas was a decent player during that time. Here we are on to the final page of the High Series. Got a couple of cards of note. This Red Sox team card, not a cheap one. I got it at a pretty good price at the time I got it. It would not be one I would probably submit in anytime soon, just because it's got some creasing on there. If I did, I probably would want to look at this corner a little bit more closely just to make sure everything measures up, but it looks like it's got a slight diamond cut on the image here, which is probably making it look like it's been maybe slightly trimmed there, but this card can go well over $100 just as a beater. I was able to get it for far less, so I jumped on it at the time I got it, because the crease, although visible, doesn't really detour too much from it overall when you're looking at it, because it's not a huge... it's kind of like a hairline crease as opposed to a clear one that has the ripping of the picture image itself when it bends in half. Here we got my final graded one. This is going to be Mike Shannon, who passed away a couple years ago too. This is going to be probably his most expensive card. It's Mike Shannon there for the Cardinals. And then Tommy John. That's probably going to be his most expensive card. If he gets the Hall of Fame, maybe his rookie will get to be higher, but this is a short printed card. It's the last card of the set, so it's going to carry some value no matter what. I think he had maybe a couple more cards with the White Sox before he moved on to another team. That's probably his most coveted of the bunch. And that's it. So I hope to be able to kind of go through each and every one of these cards and players here in the near future. Starting the series, I'll probably do one a month, which we have, I think, there are just around 70 cards here in all. So we'll be doing this for the next couple of years. I hope you guys enjoy this one.